Hi guys, happy Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. Ha! Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is doing well. Tonight, I am going to make it simple. I'm going to tell you 7 things that if you avoid these 7 foods, I guarantee you, you will feel better, you'll have more energy, and lo and behold, your weight will start to change. If you are on a plateau and you can't seem to get past no matter how hard you're working, if you can cut these 7 things out, I can guarantee you that you will have results. The very first thing is, you guessed it, sugar. Cut sugar out of your diet and you will have an amazing results very quickly. As a matter of fact, I had one of the first girls that I ever worked with. I told her these 7 things and she was overwhelmed and she said, "Oh, that's just so many." I said, "So pick one." And she had results just with dropping sugar and leaving her diet the rest of the way that it was. So anyway, sugar comes in a lot of forms, guys, and you really have to read your ingredients. There is sugar in everything. It is a little frustrating, actually. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen I'll post a link to a documentary about the truth about foods, and like they put sugar in this stuff to make us want more of it. Sugar's a non-food. It's something that our bodies don't. It's one of the only things that's sold in the grocery store. Well, actually, there's a bunch of them, but our bodies have no need for sugar. Like, we could cut it out, and our bodies would never need it again. Now, I know that's a big thing. I mean, everybody likes their sweets. But if you are at a plateau, or you're frustrated because you don't know what to change, I challenge you, even if you're not eating like traditional sweet foods, start looking at your labels, because they really slide sugar in everywhere. It's frustrating whenever you start watching all of the labels. The second thing is white flour. This goes right along the lines with sugar, as in our bodies, it doesn't recognize it as a food because it's so that enriched whole grain flour, or any of the processed flours that are out there. Our body doesn't recognize it as food, so it doesn't know what to do with it. So what does it do? Sends it right to the fat stores. And I'm patting my thighs because that's where, I swear, I'm still carrying some peanut butter Pop-Tarts down here. But for real, our bodies it doesn't know what to do with it. So it hangs on to it. And there's this whole chemistry process that happens, and you guys can Google it. Don't trust, I challenge you not to trust me on these things. I challenge you to go and do your research and prove to yourself that the tips that I'm telling you are right. So the second thing is white flour. So that, yes, that includes your bread. A side note here, guys, be careful with stuff whenever it says gluten-free. My husband is definitely allergic to glutens, and there's actually 7 different forms of glutens, and even whenever it says gluten-free, I'm telling you that they still slide some stuff in, because he has different reactions to different things. So just be careful with that. But basically, if you could cut out white flour, and just white flour alone, you're going to have results. All the other flours, we'll talk about those later. But for starters, just do the white flour and the sugar. Fried foods. Yeah, I know they're awesome. But I want to challenge you to have to change up the way that you prepare your fried foods. For example, if you still, like, I like to make chicken cutlets. Do those in olive oil. Olive oil is amazing for you. The biggest fried food, the biggest thing with the fried foods is the processed oils. Guys, that stuff is like a chemical crap storm. Like, for real. Our bodies categorizes it. Whenever we eat it, we're putting it into our body. I mean, think about that. We're putting this stuff into our body, this body that has to get us around. And this stuff is not a food. So our bodies, they don't know what to do with it. It sets off this domino chain reaction of, okay, let's send it here. Oh, no, 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 let's send it here. So we end up storing it in all of the worst ways possible, and all of the worst places possible. So cut out the fried foods, especially with the hydrogenated oils and these all these synthetic fake oils that are out there. If you want to, you can still get the same effect with butter or olive oil, that type of thing. Processed foods, guys. A good indication that you probably shouldn't eat it is if it's in a package, if it's in a box, if it's in the middle of the grocery foods store. I mean, there's a couple of things in there that we'll grab, but as a rule, you don't need any of that stuff because, again, they are changing the food. They're adding things to it that our bodies don't like. They're not happy with it at all. Soda. I know that's a biggie. For some people, they are really, really, really hooked on soda, and I can relate. I used to be a diet Pepsi drinking fool, and I'm actually convinced that now the more I learn, I really think that was issues that caused me to go into preterm labor with my daughter, Sydney. Soda's a bad, bad, bad thing. And that leads me to the other thing, no artificial sweeteners. Did you guys know, fun fact about artificial sweeteners, did you know when cows, okay, so they're out doing their thing, you know, they're eating whatever, it's time for them to go to the butcher. So they take them into the finishing shed, and I try not to think about what happens in that finishing shed, but one of the things that I have learned that really stuck with me, and it makes me avoid this stuff like the plague. Did you know that they give cows aspartame? Yeah, you know that stuff in the little packet that you like to put in your coffee because it's the healthier thing to eat? They give it to them, and you know why? To make them fatter. Yep, to fatten them up. So I want you guys to think about artificial sweeteners like they're poison. Think of them like they are cancer feeders. Actually, sugar in general will feed any cancer cells that you've got trying to get active. Eat some sugar and you're gonna feed those bad boys. But bottom line, do not have artificial sweeteners. It falls right in the same category as the chemical crap storm. We don't need it. Stevia, however, is an exception, and the reason why is because it's actually derived from a natural plant source. Do your research on that. Don't trust me on it. And then the final thing that I want that I have for my 7 is if you cannot pronounce it, don't eat it. And I'm not even joking about this. If you are reading your food label and you're like, okay, it's got this and this and this and this. If you turn away, if you were to put that label down, if you can't remember what it is, that's a good indication that you shouldn't need to eat it. If you can't remember, if you don't know how to spell it, that's another good indication that you need to not eat it. Another few tricks, guys, that I learned whenever I am trying to choose the foods that I can eat. Number one, always read your labels. Like I said, I'm not even so concerned about the how many calories it has. I'm not concerned about the fats. I'm not concerned about any of that stuff. I'm concerned about the ingredients, and I want to know, does it have sugar? Does it have these wheats that are going to make my husband sick? Does it have any of these things, any preservatives? The preservatives are big, guys. That falls in the lines of if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Yeah, those preservatives are yet another thing that we are putting in our food. I say they are putting in our food that our bodies, they don't know what to do with it. And if you look at the rise of all of these crazy diseases and stuff, that we didn't have these issues 20 years ago, 50 years ago. But now, because the food is not real food, it's changing. It's changing the way our bodies deal with it. So, another tip that I like to tell people is when you're reading those ingredient lists, follow the sevens rule. So what does that mean, Tammy? Okay, if it's got more than 7 ingredients, you need to start really considering if it's worth eating. And I know that seems kind of picky, but really, anything that even I make here at home, I cook a lot. Anything that I make, even my salad, I don't even think my salad, it might end up with 7 things. But when you start mixing all this stuff in, that's when they start sliding in all of the stuff that you can't pronounce, that you don't know what it is. If you don't know what it is, don't eat it. I mean, really think about that. Why are we eating stuff that we don't know what it is? We're just trusting that these food companies have our best interests at heart? Newsflash, guys, they don't. They want us to be addicted to this food. They want us to crave it. They want us to eat it. Our bodies feel, our stomach will feel full because we filled it up with these foods. But then 2 hours later, we're hungry. Why are we hungry? Because our bodies said, okay, I don't know what to do with all this garbage that you just gave me, so I'm going to send it to your kidneys to make some extra sugar. I'll send it to your stores. I'll send it to here. I'll send it to there. No, and it's not processing anything for energy. And now you've got the whole domino reaction, that chain reaction that happens, and you're hungry again. Your sugar's spiked, and the cycle continues. So, yeah, guys, I'm passionate about this because the more that I learned when I started putting my health first and I started really paying attention to this stuff, the more I learned, the more I realized I was doing it all wrong. I was going for the package. First sign that's something wrong is the package. But I was going for the package that said fat-free. I was going for the diet soda because that's better for me than the other soda. I was choosing all of the things that I thought was the better option, but I just didn't know. And now this stuff comes naturally to me, and I see it, and I think, oh, that's trash. I would never ever put that in my body. But I have to remind myself that not everybody knows this, and I am passionate that I want to spread this information because people need to know. I think back of the foods that I gave my kids going through the McDonald's drive-thru. Did you know? Fun fact about McDonald's: they did a study with the McDonald's Big Mac, whatever their thing is, and French fries, and they put it under like a in a cake dish or whatever, and next to it they had a home prepared something that my mom would make. The homemade fries, the hamburger, even a bun bought at the store, okay? Put it in the same cake dish, and they left them out. Just out in regular environment. Do you know, long after the mom's homemade dinner is already molded over and doesn't even look like anything close to, it looks like a big fuzzy mess. Guys, do you know what the other one, the McDonald's one, looked like? Exactly the same. Don't believe me? Okay, clean out your car. When you find the McDonald's French fry, it looks exactly the same as when you got it. There's a reason for that. Guys, just trust me. Stop putting the chemicals in your body and you will have results. If you find that you're sick all the time, if you find that you just can't get past this plateau and you don't know why, you're like, but I don't eat very much. Stop making it complicated. Stop counting calories. Stop doing all of this stuff and just eat whole, real foods. It can be done. Do whatever you can to keep these cancer-feeding, sickness-causing foods out of your body. Like, seriously, your life truly depends on it. And then a couple things that a couple tips that I'd like to add in, just since I've got you here. Do you keep those 7 things out of your diet? awesome. I guarantee you will have results. If you combine them with 3 really important things. One, making sure you have enough water, because if your cells don't have, we are made up of bazillion cells. Every single one of those cells has, it's 90 something percent water in every single one of our cells. As soon as you don't have enough water in one of those cells, now you've got some malformed cells, and you get the whole domino chain reaction from that. So make sure you have enough water. And if you saw my post yesterday, I confessed that I got behind on my water whenever I was traveling, and I really felt it. It because my body had gotten so used to it, it really caused some issues with me. So get enough water. Eat fat, guys. If it says fat-free, think in your mind, if it says fat-free, skull and crossbones. You don't want it. You don't want it. I mean, unless it's like naturally fat-free, but even then I want you to add fats to it. You're like, Tammy, what? Eat fat? And it's gonna make me skinny? Yep. Because guys, your fat, like you have to have the fat for it in the cell. It's in the lining around the cell is made of the fats. And if you don't have it, you are causing a domino chain reaction, and you're not functioning on the levels that you should. You also need fat to burn your metabolism. You need fat for everything. Google that and find out what good fats do for you. I might even put a couple of links to stuff in the comments here after the thing, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I honestly put fats in almost everything I eat. My coffee in the morning was when I first heard my coach Lauren talk about this. I seriously was like, okay, wait, no. I think I like everything you do, but that's freaking weird. So I'm kind of laughing, thinking of what you guys' reaction is going to be. But every morning I start my day, I bulletproof my coffee, and what does that mean? I put coconut oil and grass-fed butter in my coffee every single morning, and a little stevia. Actually, I say my husband is pretty awesome. He makes my coffee for me every morning and brings it down to me. And even whenever I switched it up and I quit putting the creamer toxic soup stuff in there every morning and started putting started doing this, he makes it for me. So yeah, I start my day with fat. Almost everything I eat is infused with fat. My salad that I'm about to have has got several different forms of fat. I've got bacon. Yep, you can eat bacon. You can eat, speaking of salad, look at my husband, man. We had steak salad tonight, and oh, look at that. We got some goat cheese. Yep. The jury is mixed on cheeses. I found from my body that I can tolerate them. Some people, they find that it actually gives them flare-ups of different autoimmune issues. So you want to find out how your body handles cheese. But basically, what's in here, I've got steak, avocados, bacon. Yes, you can eat bacon. What else we got? Tomatoes, mushrooms, goat cheese. What else is in here, babe? John finished making it so I could go live because I was running late. Olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and yeah. So, and then of course, some lettuce and kale down in there. But fat is your friend, guys. Trust me. Make sure you've got some fats in almost everything you eat, and you are going to have success. Bottom line, guys, don't believe everything that you're told. Don't even believe me whenever I tell you. I've done my research. I've actually tried all this stuff out. I am a skeptic. I don't believe it. Even when I read it, I don't believe it until I try it out on myself. When I first heard about this adding fats, I thought, that's not going to work for me. But I tried it anyway, and I'm telling you, it was my game changer. Make sure that you do your research. Know what you're eating. Know what it's going to do to you. And that way, later on, whenever whenever you have an issue pop up, you don't wonder what's going on. So anyway, I've kept you guys on for long enough. I am going to enjoy my salad that John just finished for me. And if you have any questions, if you want some more help with your health and fitness, message me. I have been talking to people all day, and I find that the common denominator is that people really just don't know what to eat. And these health professionals, I put those in air quotes too because it really kind of annoys me, they're telling these people to stuff, do your research. And even if they're in the medical field, be careful who you trust. Like, really, because it just never amazes me, these people that are told to stick with this low-fat, high-carb diet. Like, what? That's a recipe for staying, for getting bigger than you are. So, anyway, have a great night. If you guys if this helped you, I encourage you to share this post, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. Have a good night.